Hi everybody, welcome back to the craft room and day 12 of the Gummiapan Advent Calendar. As usual, I've opened it and taken the dogs for a walk. When I opened it this morning, I thought it was books. So I spent the walk this morning thinking about what I could do with books. Long, skinny books. They're not books. It's a fence. I'm going to have to look a bit closer in the mornings before I go for a walk, rather than just a quick glance and then a run off and not really know what it is. So I've got an idea what to do for books, but I haven't got an idea what to do with fence. So give me a few minutes to just think about what I can do, and I will be right back. Okay. Pop that away. So, fence. If you saw yesterday, I showed you this die that I got in there. I want to say, I keep someone saying Green Friday, I don't know why. Black Friday sale from Sizzix, and I used this little bit of a layer. People often ask me how I can think of some of the stuff that I do, but you just got to look at the pieces a bit more individually. I mean, they've given you an idea of what you could do, but you know, you could make these into robins or bluebirds. You could take the egg and chop it, and it would look like a bit like a couple of rocks. And of course you can use this as a grounding piece for anything else. So the other ones I got was this one, which is this little rabbit. Not a great deal more you can do with that. You could use his eyes on something else, or use his ears on something else. But the grounding piece, which is the piece I've pulled out for today, there is another piece to go with it, which I'll pull out in a minute. So I'm going to use that grounding piece today. And the other one that I got was this one, which are the three mushroomy tree type things. But there's a die in here that's got 4 pieces, each of which could be a grounding piece for something. I pulled out the tortoise as well again today, so you know, he could just be stood on there. This could be tortoise and a little grounding piece. So, yeah, if you look at what extra pieces you've got in your dies. These could all be rocks as well. These could be hats, couldn't they? Strange hats, but they could be hats. They could all be hats. So yeah, I will show that the 2 I got from, the 3 I got from Sizzix. So sucker for mushrooms. I always buy mushrooms, but you know, these little plants will come in handy. I picked up this one. That was really cheap. I wouldn't go for it normally, but it was really cheap, and I thought I'll be using the sentiments. I use the balloons as well, but mostly just got it for the sentiments. And I'm also a sucker for an underwater scene. So I bought that. That's going to do a nice aperture in a card. Something other than fish. You could just cut these off a little bit, I think. So, yeah. Right, let me pull this other piece out of him. So we've got all the pieces that I need. Is that piece there. So what I was planning on doing was that grounding piece. So it's going to be similar to yesterday's, and I'm going to have the fence there. I have the tortoise there. I have pulled out, this is a Gummiapan die which I bought with the fruit. So I'm going to have that as a hanging basket with some of this in it. Not all of this, it's too long, but some of it coming out of there. And I did pull out some grass that I thought I might put on afterwards, but I don't know. So I'm going to pop that to one side for a minute and think about that. So these are the pieces I'm going to get cut. So I'm going to cut 3 of him. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. So 2 of that, 3 of him, and a single of each of these. And we're going to do some, I'm doing it all in white, and I'm going to do some alcohol marker colouring. And yeah, then work out how I'm going to get that onto a card. So that's the plan. So let me get all this cut and I will be right back. So there's all the pieces. On this one I'm going to colour one and then cut this bit off of one of them and stick that on, so a bit of layer in there. I'm going to do the tortoise exactly the same way as I did him yesterday, possibly different colours, but the same basic thing. I will do this in a couple of colours, silver that up. Where's my plant? I did cut a plant die. Where's that? It's gone. Lost it. Let me cut another one of those. Okay, and I'm going to colour the plant. I'll do it green and a bit of pink, and then work out how I'm going to do that. And I think I'm just going to, because it's quite big compared to this little fence, I'm just going to have the top piece, I think. So I'm doing just a few little bits hanging out. So I might also cut that again in silver, I don't know. We'll see what colours are like when we get to it. Okay, so let's get some colouring done. Okay, so on the fence, I am going to do browns, light, medium and dark. And on the dark, I'm just going to be doing the edge and through the middle of where each of them joins, a few of the lines that they've marked across and underneath and over the top of the strings, but I want it really as thin as I can get it, so not always easy on small dies, but we'll do what we can. Okay, so that's the darkest one done. So the next one, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to go in a little bit more. And what I'm going to try and do is leave a white highlight in the middle, which, because these are thin, like I say, it's not going to be easy, but if you do lose your highlights when you're colouring, I don't know if I said yesterday, you can get them back in with a white jelly ball pen. And then with the lightest one, we're going to go over the rest. If you go over everything you've done with the light one, it will help with some blending. And hopefully that gives them a little bit of dimension. So the other piece I'm going to do is this piece. I'm going to do it with the middle shade. I'm doing a whole lot like that and like that, and then I'm going to do a tiny bit through the middle of each of them. Because that's where the shade would be. And then just go over it again with this one to blend it in a little bit. Cut that out. Here's the top one. So that's going to go on there. Is that the right way up? I think that needs to be a little bit darker. It's not showing up very well, so let's darken it up a little bit. One fence done. So let's do the grounding piece, which we're going to do in the greens. I've got a light, medium and a dark in those. So this is the dark one. So we'll do a so just little flicks up to do that one, and this is going to be medium, I think. let me stick that on there. So that's going to go on there like that. While we got the greens out, let's just do this little plant. So I think I'm going to do him in the medium and the light. I'm just going to do the bits that look like leaves and stem. Not going to be too precious about it. A bit of the light on there as well. And then I picked out this, I was going to go pink, but I decided to go purple instead because it goes quite nicely with the green. Although pink goes nicely with the green as well, but so that'd be okay for the flowers. Well, if you don't leave white bits. And just get the tortoise done. Like I say, similar to yesterday, so not yesterday, that browns, that's that one. So I'm just going to go a bit dark underneath his shell and just a bit underneath his head. And then overall with the lightest blend. Just picked up a bit of pink from there. Never mind. Never mind. Still looks okay. And let's just do his shell, which is going to be that one, and that one again. Same as yesterday. Oh, we need a new tortoise, don't we, for a shell? Have I lost one of the tortoise? Oh, there it is. So just round the outside of this shell. And then we're going to do a shape in there. That bit there. 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 With the dark. And then the medium is going to be outlined like that. And then the lightest is going to go over all of it. So there's his shell. And the other thing we're going to do is the bottom bit of his shell there. I'm going to colour this one in and that one in so that it hides any white, and then chop this up and put it together. left is this, which I might just pull out a grey. And just do the whole lot, and then I'll work out what I'm going to cut off. There we go. So pop that over there. Rubbish, 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 rubbish. And here's all our elements. So that's going to go there. Tortoise. And then we're going to have the plants hanging. So I think we are going to just have the top piece, or just have the bottom piece. Just the top, I think. That's that done now. And I just need to chop this up a little bit, and then we'll stick some bits on. So I don't know if I need to whiten those flowers up a little bit, or do something with the flowers to make them stand out a bit more. Let me just put some white bits on to see if that's a bit better. And then we'll have a few on the ground. So another one. So let me get this stuck to this first. And I'm just going to put a little screw head in there so that it looks like it's attached by something. I might just highlight his eye, his mouth. And let's pop a few bits on the ground as well. So there it is. So there's the little, excuse me, there's the little element. I'm just going to have a little bit of a think as to what I'm going to do now. So I was thinking either a partial emboss, but then that looks like he's going into some sort of vortex, doesn't it? Maybe not. Or just do some line embossing. I think I'll just do some line embossing on the card. So, line embossing. Let me make the card and get the base done, get a matte layer done first. I always know which embossing tool to use because it's the one that Badgie kindly marked with his teeth for me. Okay, so I don't like my embossing to go right to the edge, so I normally draw a little guide on the back. So So that's where my embossing line is going to stop, and if I have him down in that corner, my embossing lines are going to be this way. I need to do this because as soon as I turn it over my mind just goes blank and I don't know what I'm doing then. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to put that in there. So to get it to be embossed, you need to do it on the back. If you want it debossed, you would do it on the front. So I am going to start at 1 inch in and do my first few lines, and then I'm going to have a look and see if I think it needs to be a bit further out. So I'm thinking about what colour matte layer I want, because I'm going to put matte layer on there. So we go in green. We would have gone green if that had been just bigger. Let me see if I've got another scrap of that one. Oh, we've got one that's a slightly different green. But that also goes because we've got a lighter green on there. So let's chop that down and see what we think. So there's today's card. Day, I've forgotten already, 12, I don't know, is it day 12? Bit of line embossing, use the tortoise again, but I did say I would anyway, and a few flowers, and that's the fence. Thank you so much for watching, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.